Peace, peace. Once again, it's on. This is Smokey. About to give you some of Smokey's thoughts. Welcome back for the one or two people that have listened and be listening. And I guess we're going to start this off with star date. What is this? 9/1/21. 1st of September. Here we go. A little rant. Maybe might be a big rant. I don't know. I'm only calling this a rant because my thoughts are about to be all over the place. But let's start this thing off with pressure, what a lot of people are under, It's a lot of people, including myself. The order of the world has changed, and they're not changing with it so well. Now, I'm not saying I'm not changing with it well, but I'm just saying, seeing a lot of news and a lot of things about people breaking down, not handling reality well. Reality is seldom disappointing to most people. I am one of those people. It's just not that popping for me. It seems like a lot of things are redundant. It's nothing new under the sun. But the thing that is new is learning and accepting and realizing things that are in your control instead of paying attention to the things that are not in your control. And we seem to have a lot of things not in our control now, my friends. But like I said, this is a rant. I'm just going to go into some deep stuff on this gloomy first day of September. How I got on this path that I'm on right now really started with origins, with meanings. I always cared about where things came from, who started it. Was this the way that it always was? And of course, finding out through etymology, some things will always stay the same, and then the rest of all the things around it change. But the etymology of the words we use every day, which is encapsulating us in mental prisons, what some people might call a spell, what some people might call a Leviathan. Look up certain words I say, by the way, too, if you care enough, if your attention span has survived this social media in fluctuation, So, yeah, Leviathan, look that up. I'm not going to get into it. That would take me into a whole nother thing, but it's a sleep spell for certain powerhouses on this planet that think they are the meek. But yeah, the etymology of words that we just throw around, like MFer and F this and F that and bad B and all types of all this stuff. I gotta say that so I can keep it less explicit, so I can possibly have more subscribers or more people to listen to. But I'm probably going to curse at the end of this. That's another thing, how we call certain words curse words. Why is that? Do maybe someone, a lot of people understand, but a ton more of people don't understand. So I'm just going to start off with, etymology of certain things. If you care about what's going on in your life, in the world, your credit score, I'm sure you care about that. Your dochies, your dividends, your bonds that tie you, and your stocks. Look up what these things originally were. Look at the pictures, find out why they are called dividends and why there's like a one-letter difference between divine and divide. Crazy stuff like that. That's just how my mind works. But this is a message to the giant AI processing unit, like Skynet, the beast, whatever you want to call it, that right now listens to everything you upload, download, everything that you look at, all of your searches, is just picking out who's who and who's going to be a potential problem in the future, that precog type of stuff. So yeah, this is a message to you. I know you're out there. I know you're listening. And I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. On some Matrix shit. I'm going to let them know that you are out there trying to program and reprogram their life and things in their life to keep them from realizing full potential. So yeah, I made a video yesterday and I said I'm going to start making more videos. This is confirmation to keep going. Like I said, this is a new month. Supposedly it's going to get kind of shaky as this weather changes and more people get the super flu, or you know what it is, the Ovid, the Novid, you know. But yeah, man, a lot of people under some mental, I don't even know what to call it, mental darkness, mental confliction, a lot of pain being thrown around out here like mud. People throwing it at you, you throwing it at others, all of that, all because of why? Ignorance, confusion, being disconnected from a true part of yourself. Not going to go too deep into it because most people call that philosophy. I call it observation, but hey, tomato, tomato. But what I will say is it's happening. It doesn't matter whether you understand it or know it. It is still going on, like many things all around you. Most people don't care about giant ant colonies under the ground out in their backyard that are incomprehensible to their mind, but they're still there. A lot of people don't understand barometric pressure, which is molecules speeding up around you when it rains or when it thunders. It's still happening. Same is going on with mental insanity in this society right now. It's still happening, whether you're aware of it or think you're fighting against it or unknowingly are part of it, which is, you know, transmitting it to others and pushing it on others and thinking that you are totally in the right, self-righteous. Yeah, it's still going down. So the point is, if you're not able to self-reflect, to introspect, to ever say, I am possibly the biggest hindrance to myself or to others that are, you know, intertwined with myself, what are you actually thinking? Like, I understand in your world that you have to be the protagonist and everybody else is the bad guy and you wouldn't have been that way unless they did something first and blah, blah, blah. All of the immaturity rants of babies. But at the end of the day, after they're all gone, after you screwed everybody over and literally screwed everybody and let them screw you and you're totally out of your wit, then what? After your parents have died, after no one really calls and keeps up with you, after a weird virus comes through and make you have to sit with yourself, then what? Well, I'll tell you what. Most people jump on these weird ass sites and make up fake profiles and think people can. There's no way no one out there can know that it's me behind this fake little stupid picture or this fake profile with no real substance or depth to it. There's no way they could realize that. Well, I'm here on this podcast, on this recording to tell you once again, you're mistaken. There are people out there such as myself. I'll just say a Heimdall that can see a lot farther than you can perceive me seeing. That's all I'm going to say about that subject. There are seers, there are waiters and watchers, there are doers, there are all these categories. And there are the lost souls, the suffering, the demonic controlled people, the remote controlled robots, hobots, sex bots, cyborgs, androids, reptilians, whatever word you want to call a person disconnected from emotional failing and emotional IQ or EQ, emotional sense. They don't have it, but they understand money. They understand big, shiny automobiles that they don't understand the engines or the power or how it works, but they understand acquiring it. They understand floating at super dangerous high speeds all around people recklessly until something bad happens. Same thing with your body. So yeah, a lot of monstrous crash dummies out here loving to crash into you and call you the dummy, while they live on with insurance payments to go crash into another person and keep covering up their tracks until you got a trail of tears, you got a closet full of fears. You don't just have skeletons in your closet, you have whole cemeteries. whole unmarked cemeteries where you just piled bodies up and threw in some lye and covered it up and thought it wasn't going to pop back up like poltergeist or something. But it did. And I am here to prove that. A lot of people tried to bury me. They didn't know you can't bury a seed and think something's not going to sprout out of that. Nevertheless, like I said in this rant, got a lot of energies all around. I think I heard something, just read something somewhere about some type of solar flare, solar burst, and that explains possibly while I'm making these recordings and just feeling like gotta let it out, time to get it out. Can't dance in the shadows anymore. It's trolls living under digital bridges that are waiting and watching, listening, ready to try to charge you a toll to cross into the bright side, into the light side, where things are what they actually are. There's not a fog. It's not illusion. These illusions, though, whew, good luck. Because you have the illusion of profit. You have the illusion of freedom. You have the illusion of choice. You believe you have certain choices. You actually do not. By nature, you just don't have them. But it's fun and cool to waste 10, 15 years believing that you did until you find out when it's taken away or when someone blaringly shows you that what you thought were choices was just a redundant loop you were in. But like I said, this is a cool rant just to see who's out there in the stratosphere, in the troposphere, who's out there that can catch the type of light beams I'm shooting, because this is just the beginning, folks. Gonna say some things that are gonna trigger you in the next upcoming weeks, months, whatever, maybe days. I don't know, depending on how I feel, what type of information I ingest and how I process it. But yeah, man, we're in a weird time where fake is really trying to take the place of real at the expense of real, like last of the Mohicans type of thing. But only takes one spark to start a flame, a small spark, as opposed to the millions of crazy, whack, distracting issues and people trying to put out your flame. Got a lot of people on YouTube babbling and going back and forth about, what do you think about this? Let me know, instead of standing on principle and saying, if you have something to add to that, if you have another perspective, I'm open to hearing it, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna, take it up as totally correct. Got a lot of people getting exposed. You got a lot of people exposing themselves physically, all for this thing we call attention. This thing that you can live and die by. You can die for attention. Many so-called stars have shot into fame, and then we watch them fall right back down in fame, infamous, and then they're gone, and we just use them as a cautionary tale. But this thing with these cameras and everybody having to put your face out there, and then you got to make hundreds of videos with your face for you to get the type of response that you're desiring, or, like donations or support. I don't like it. It doesn't feel natural. Feels like something trying to have everyone seen and documented and calculated and controlled. And then when you say something a little too, that makes sense, all of a sudden your shit is banned. Your shit disappears. It doesn't upload. No views. You have people that subscribed and hit the notification. All of a sudden something cut the notification off. Like, yeah, I'm just not big on that. I pretty much have a very serious hunch of what this already is. So, and unlike most people, I don't have to corroborate with others to feel my feelings. I don't have to say, do you think this is what I'm feeling? To then say, good, now my feeling is validated. No, once I feel it, that's the validation I needed. I trust my insides better than anyone outside. But this was just a weird little gloomy day rant, just to check and see, just to let certain people know And that's, oh yeah, another thing. Right now at this